It's a Thursday show! Let's rip it!
I love that she's back.
What's that? What'd you say?
I love that she's back.
Oh, man, our guest tonight?
Yes.
I know, me too. Just threw me off with that. That's so funny. I'm like, what is she talking about? Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Hi, Mrs. Ryan.
Hi.
Look at you wearing white on television. Way to go. Welcome back. Tonight is Thursday, July 11th, 2019. My name is Jay Ryan. This is Nicole Ryan. We are the Ryans, and this is It's Tonight's show. Our guest this evening is one of our favorites. STEPH CURTIS is back with us. This is our third appearance with us. We'll get into everything when she gets in here, but we have an interesting way how we met. We've been having wonderful conversations on this show ever since we met her, and hopefully that continues on today. How are you doing today, Mrs. Ryan, other than wearing white on television?
I felt better until that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. It wasn't a dig. It was just.
I'm doing my best to look better in general, and I realized that was a major faux pas. So
No,
I
it's
feel
great. Look at
horrible,
you.
but other than that, I'm fine.
No. Look at you. It's great.
Great.
You see the lighting's different, though, right?
Totally. I hate it. Like I didn't.
Oh, no.
I was just trying to find a shirt that fit my body, and there's few. So this was one that did, and now it's
What does
out
that
of the
mean?
routine. Everything stretches, and it's big, and I'm small, and clothing fits differently on women than dudes, and
I know that.
a lot of my
but
stuff
what's
doesn't work.
different for you than usual you? Not you versus everybody else in the world.
I'm smaller, and my shirts don't fit as well. I don't know.
Okay. Are you?
Yes, I've lost a couple of pounds.
Then you are... I don't know what to say here. Forget it. I'll just say, how about that?
Great.
You look like you are changing. Your weight is probably changing, not so much just losing weight. I mean, your posture is better. I feel like your shape, your form is better, the way you're carrying yourself.
Yes.
And
Between the pool time, now that that's better, it's fixing my body. It's letting
It helps strengthen your core, I think, a little bit, too, because when you have a stronger back, you definitely feel better, and your cane is a little bit less needed.
Yes.
All right. Well, we got that out of the way. Now you know what's going on with us.
That's the latest.
Is what it is. Okay, Mrs. Ryan, I've only got a couple things to get through today. One is a TBT video and one bunch of announcements. So I think we should probably do the announcements. I don't know what There we go. I've called it Activities Calendar. That's why I couldn't find it. It's no longer called Announcements or PSA. We're having a good time. Here's a pretty picture of a yellow car. In the meantime, Friday morning, we've got our usual breakfast club. But if you would like a photo like this of your car, come on out this particular Friday when Photos by Karina will be shooting between 8:30 and 9:15 at mile marker 49 out there at Angeles Crest. Get a nice shot of that on your way to Breakfast Club. It doesn't have to be a Porsche, by the way, I should say.
She's shooting everything.
Yeah. It's one road. A bunch of cars are going to pass. I mean, they'll mostly be Porsches because of our group. But that's the other thing. You've been to Breakfast Club now. I can't wait to talk to you about that. Oh, that's funny.
That'll be nice.
All right, so that's Friday. And then Saturday, we've got, here we go. Saturday morning from 9 to 11, we will be at the Lazy Auto Kennel Gathering. It's down there at Auto Kennel. 1974 Charles Street, Costa Mesa, California. And then just a little bit after that, we will be over there at Benton Performance for the Benton Barbecue, 1 to 6 p.m., 1275 North Lance Lane, Anaheim, California.
Lots
And
to
that's
do.
where we'll be. Yeah, and then Sunday we'll be at probably Malibu Muffins, I would imagine.
Great.
Usually about 8 to 10 at Malibu Kitchen. After that, we'll be at our pool. And
that's the end.
yeah, I mean, maybe a couple of you can come over, but not everybody. So that's what's going on. Now I have a TBT video. However, this has not been seen here yet. It just happens to be a TBT through. I didn't make this video. This video comes to us from Tammy Blanchard, who is Lucas Blanchard's mom.
Awesome.
Lucas Blanchard comes to our Breakfast Club frequently. He's got the old-fashioned Beetle that's got a
bug.
Subaru souped-up motor in it, so it's water-cooled and it's like all kind of modern underneath. So he's zipping up and down the crest, and it totally a sleeper because you wouldn't expect it. His mom made a little short movie for us from attending, I believe, 2 weeks ago, our Breakfast Club. So I'm going to roll that right on now and take a look down here, see what she did. Roll it out. Out of that. Ah, there you go. Thank you, Tammy Blanchard.
Thank you, Tammy.
I don't know if it's Blanchard or Blanchard. I hope I'm not saying it the wrong way, but thank you very much to Lucas's mom.
Up in Modesto.
Modesto?
Yeah, that's where they are.
Oh, no kidding. We always see them down into like Auto Kennel or down in the Orange County. I didn't realize that's where they lived. That's it, Mrs. Ryan. I'm all caught up. I got all my stuff out of the way.
Okay.
That means only one thing. Do you know what that is?
If it's me, I know.
It's time to ask the question. It's on everyone's mind. What's going on, Mrs. Ryan?
Artificial light, we all know, is an issue. But in case anyone wanted another thing to look at to remind you to put your phone down at night, I do. Clownfish. There was a study recently on clownfish. Nemo.
You know, for a clownfish, he isn't that funny.
Totally. So, Nemo, for those of you who don't know what clownfish are, they...
Or Marlin, right?
What?
Or Marlin, the mom, the dad. He was a clownfish also. Well, the mom was too, actually. Don't want to talk about her, though. She didn't fare so well.
The striped fish, there was a study that was done on them, and basically they put an LED light over them at night to simulate artificial light because that's a increasing thing that's happening on coastal areas, specifically.
Light pollution, right? We're talking about
light pollution. It turns out that fish, those eggs, don't hatch under artificial light. They usually hatch later. They can, but if they're under light, they don't hatch. So it's a good way for me to understand how bodies work. Things stop working when they don't get rest. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Really simply, is the basics.
I believe you can get MS from things like that and all sorts of bodily issues.
I agree. I look at everything that it's all body stuff. It's all rest. It's all circadian rhythm. It's all light and dark.
That's what I was going to say. It's definitely all tied into that same stuff.
It's all tied together. And it's all stuff that we all know and see and do to ourselves. And this is just something to look at in other things so that you can remind yourself to look at yourself.
Totally. I find that you can do anything in the world you want, but you have to understand that just like all physics, there's going to be some sort of other, cause and effect theory, basically. There's going to be some other thing that happens, a side effect. You can't take the pill without the side effect. There's no such thing.
Yeah. You can have it all. Just do it at different times. It's usually the rule. Stargazing on trains is a thing now that helps people kind of reacclimate to nighttime and see stars and see what's out there. I
love train trips, and I certainly know the observation cars with the glass roofs. Is that what we're talking about?
No, this is a place in Nevada that's like 4 hours east of Las Vegas or something, where they really need to get away from light pollution. And so...
so this is tied into the first one, even though it's a separate story.
Yeah, it kind of goes together. It's all like light and it's tied together. Whatever. In Nevada, they realize there's national parks there, so they have organized train trips through the parks, and rangers from the parks are tour guides and astrologists, kind of to be like, "What's up?" And they put out observation areas at some of the stops. Sounds awesome. So if you want to get away from light pollution, go to Nevada
and take a train at night.
Yeah.
Were the tracks existing through this natural area, or did they lay them for this purpose?
No, as far as I know, they're there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're there. They're just in a lot of ways, people are trying to figure out ways to use what's existing in a better, nicer way.
Love that.
So this sounds awesome. And in my being positive person, I'm looking at everything that I've done in a positive way. And there's a lot of great stuff coming out of University of Michigan.
Your alma mater,
my
right?
alma mater. That I stress the bejesus out of me, so I don't always look at stuff. but I need to.
Going to that school stressed the bejesus out of you?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
I realized this morning I was a double major and a hockey player. Like, I did not have a lot of free time.
No, you should have either been leaning on the sports or doing your double major or just choosing one of the above.
Yeah, and not going home and driving 6 hours both ways. It was a lot.
Uphill.
Yeah, uphill. Snowing.
In my day. You had feet.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, what I loved about that campus, being part of the psychological program and getting that degree, was we interacted with a ton of doctoral students, and also like community people that would come in to be part of the studies. And so there was a huge dichotomy of people, a cross-section of community. Mm-hmm. And so basically what does and what their medical community does is it allows them to not look at things from such a hoity-toity scientific way and really get in with the community. So what they did, they figured out a way to kind of create an EpiPen for spinal injuries.
Ooh.
And neurological things that, because normally there's a blood-brain barrier that keeps immune system chaos from getting in your brain and your neurology. For a lot of people with spinal injuries, that's broken. And so
literally broken, or just doesn't work anymore? I mean, like it's severed, like a spinal cord could be severed, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you've had any kind of spinal injury, whether it's from a roller coaster or a car accident, like all those things, synapses are busted. So the immune system response triggers a lot of chaos in the brain. And UM's like, that doesn't have to happen. So they basically have figured out a way to insert nanoparticles that keep that from happening. It sounds super neat. They're calling it an EpiPen for that kind of neurological trauma, but there's way more to it. I just love for looking into it that way.
Okay.
And then to wrap it up, Krispy Kreme is 82 next week, and they always do something very fun for their birthday, and they are filling glazed donuts with cookie dough batter. It sounds disgusting, but I'm sure I'd love it.
I don't want to say I'm anti Krispy Kreme, but I'm not on the train. I've never been on the train. I didn't grow up with them, so I didn't. It was just such a thing. I was already living out here, trying to think. I was at the practice, I think, David E. Kelly, and Krispy Kreme either was just getting here or it was a big deal. Maybe I was new. I don't know. But it was a big deal when they were coming out, and it was just glazed. And that's all that was. That was the only donut they made. It was a glazed donut, and it was fucking better than any other glazed donut. Okay. I didn't really care because I grew up with Dunkin' Donuts, so that was sort of my association. Yeah. That's the best donut. All I know is I never liked them, and then they started coming out with all the other flavors, just like every other donut shop. So now it's just a donut shop. I don't know. I never really could understand what the heck the deal was with Krispy Kreme.
I'm not going to say I get it either. I just saw cookie dough batter in a donut.
Also, my favorite is the Boston Cream, and simply put, Krispy Kreme doesn't do it. They just don't do it.
Correct. Happy birthday, Krispy Kreme.
Oh, my goodness gracious. And that's been What's Going On, Mrs. Ryan. Dun, 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 dun. Woo! Whoopsie-daisy. Zoo-doo-doo. It's crazy. It's our Friday show, everybody. Thursday is our Friday, as we all know.
Yeah.
All right, Mrs. Ryan, I think it's time to do a break. Get our guest, STEPH Curtis, in here. Excited to talk to you. You good? I can't wait for you all to see what she's wearing today. She looks absolutely lovely, but there's a distinct possibility she may blend in with the set.
Yes, and I'm going to go change my shirt, so hopefully it'll all be
all right.
a little easier.
Quick break. Our guest, STEPH Curtis, will be sitting in that chair right there in just a few minutes. Be right back. More to come. In that case, sure, bring it on over.
I feel like a professional when I do that.
You are a professional. Bring it on over. You are a professional. Let's see. Look at that. Look how nice you look. You don't quite blend in with the background.
No, let me see.
It's not too bad. There's yours.
I'm like trying to see. Green. Close.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are sitting here with STEPH Curtis, not Steph Curry. Yeah. Thank goodness in my case. No, I've worked with Steph Curry, and he was wonderful, and he was absolutely wonderful. But, I know nothing about sports ball, and I'd much rather have a conversation with you.
I know, that's so funny. I feel like most people would be like, oh my gosh, I know him. You're like, rather talk to STEPH Curtis.
Yeah, because I don't know him, but I worked with him, photos of it and the whole bit. How the heck are you? It's so nice to see you.
It's so nice to see you guys too.
I feel like we're like old family or something.
I really do. I feel like we've definitely said that before, like you're like my my older cousins that I'm like, oh, I'm going to the cousin's house
It feels
on the
that
West
way.
Coast. You
It
know?
feels that way.
Totally.
But why is that? What the heck is that?
I don't know what it is, but I know we've gone over this part before. But you know, when you connect with people, especially out in this type of like LA environment, when you do connect with people, you kind of keep the relationship going
Keep it
because
real.
it's rare. Totally.
You know, because it is authentic.
Right.
Well, I don't know if people remember or not, but I met you one day when I was. Can I tell the story?
Of course
Okay.
you can.
I was buying, and luckily I haven't had to do this in forever, thanks to us doing this and people giving us stuff now. But I was at the pharmacy, the medicinal cannabis pharmacy,
Yes.
buying some medicine, some product for Mrs. Ryan.
Yes.
And on the way out, you were doing some promo for some, I don't remember who at this point, but you were there
Yes.
and representing a company or
Yes.
something. So we got to talking, and I said, oh, well, my wife has MS, the whole thing. You didn't just, oh, our products are great for MS and blah, 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 blah. You started having a conversation with me. I'm like, oh, really? Well, what's going on? What kind of stuff? And we just had a moment where I was like, you are not only representing your whatever you were representing well, but you were representing yourself well as a person and what you stood for. And that was it really appeals to me. So I was like, wait a second, why don't we put this together?
Yes.
Let's meet. How do we become whole thing? We do a show. You should be on it, blah, blah, blah. Now here's your third appearance, and I feel like I know you. So that's for everybody else who hasn't seen the other two.
Right. And if you haven't, check them out.
Please. Yeah, that's right. You always have a different outfit. Today you're not quite matching the set, but it is pretty funny. It is pretty funny.
It's close.
You look like maybe a gay referee or something.
Oh, yes.
Not that you're gay. No, like of a gay match of some sort. It's a rainbow type of. Or Foot Locker, gay Foot Locker. How's that?
Close to Pride Week too.
That's what I mean. It was the whole month.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess
Good
we
job.
can tie that. Yeah,
Really tied it.
I thought it was on purpose.
No, it actually wasn't. I kept I was drawn to this shirt this whole week, and I was like, oh, what day should I wear? And I'm like, Thursday.
There you go.
Thursday. Didn't
Nicely
even think
done.
about the book.
All right, well, that's unimportant.
Right.
How have you been since we've seen you last?
I know. I'm like, when I was just trying to think the timeline of the last time I was on the show. I think it was right
before your travels.
Right. Okay.
Is that true?
Yes.
I thought I ended up thinking it was right after, so it was right before.
It was
right before, because I know you sent videos and stuff, but you.
That's what it is. You sent some correspondent videos, and that's why in my mind I think it was later. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are both right. All right, pick it up.
Yes.
So where did you go?
I went to Paris and London. I've been to London before, so I've always loved it, though. It's one of my favorite places I've been to. That's not like a tropical place, because if anything, like, bring me to a tropical place, beach, ocean, like, I'll stay there. Yeah. I'll stay there forever. Same. And just, like, if you need me, call me.
Soak it up, right?
Yeah. So...
If you need me, call me. I love that. That's
right.
great.
I'm like, at this
I'll
point...
be here
like,
until...
Yeah, until my time is up. Whatever. I'll be here. So I had never been to France before. I went to Paris. It was cool.
Well, but that was the fashion capital, and I remember there being some excitement about, I'm going to bring a different outfit for every day and the whole thing. And your photos were spectacular.
I came prepared with my outfits, but I was like, where's everyone else with the good outfits? No, I'm kidding. That sounds mean, but...
Yeah, but there's some truth to it, it seems.
Well, of course.
There's some disappointment here.
Okay, I think I would love to go there again, do it differently. I had an amazing time, don't get me wrong. I do like London better, but I think I need to go to a different part of France. I had to go to Paris. I had to see that history. Don't get me wrong, I had an amazing time. Like, we really enjoyed ourselves so much. And
Does it have to do with the time that you were there? Like,
I don't know,
I wasn't there for Fashion Week, or,
No, I don't even care.
Maybe if I went to Milan.
Any Fashion Week, the one I want to go to is Milan.
Okay.
That's the one I want to, like, one day get. It's like on my vision board, get invited to Milan Fashion Week. I don't care who it is, just invite me. Like,
sure.
I'll show up. But no, I really did love Paris. It was cold, a lot colder, and I brought one pink coat. So that pink coat, I was like, how am I supposed to coordinate this with this outfit? This doesn't go with this outfit.
All your stuff was so dynamically different.
Planned out and so different. So I was like, this pink coat doesn't go with this. And this sounds so first world problems, right? But
this is first world problems, big time.
I know. I try to.
It's okay, though.
Right. But I don't know. I was connecting more with London, but I've been told the place, like the south of France. That's where I told, like, Bordeaux, like where the Cannes Film Festival. I don't know. Everyone says Cannes, Cannes. I don't know.
You've been that one, right?
You
Yeah.
have.
A couple times, yeah.
That's like, I don't know what it is. And it looks like even in just the air over there, it's magical. Like, I can feel that. Did you feel that way there?
No. It in a similar way that you're like, I want to go to Paris.
Right.
And it mildly disappointing, but not because of anything.
Right.
It's just expectations.
You had something in your mind.
Yeah, that's all I say about Cannes. But because I worked every time I was there, so it's like I have a different understanding of it. But it's beautiful.
Right. It looks.
I've had really lovely breakfasts there.
Oh, with views that I'm sure I can't even imagine.
Every place is like right on the water, and it's beautiful. So yeah, I do love it there.
Right. I know. I gotta go. I still gotta go, but. Yeah, I heard the south of France is like more, I think I don't know. I just didn't connect with Paris the way I thought I would. And it's so crazy because one of my cousins, she is like die-hard Paris, like flew there for her engagement photos.
Oh, my.
In front of the Eiffel Tower. Oh, that's
a thing.
Team Paris all the way.
Paris.
She is, but it was amazing because she really did help me even like coordinate my trip. Like, this is where you should go. So we got to do all of the historical things that like everyone has to see.
Did you just overbook what you were doing too?
No,
I mean, that's an awful lot of stuff to do.
No, it wasn't even that. We actually like. It worked out really well how we planned everything because we did give ourselves, we didn't try and like cram everything into like, let's do all this in one day. It was like, this is the major thing for this day and then we're going to kind of leave the rest open. But the one crazy part about it was we flew in, I think we got there on a Saturday, and I wasn't really aware of this, but there's a ton of protesting going on. The Yellow Jackets, it's about, I think like just the cost of living and all that kind of stuff, but every Saturday, I guess, they start protesting like crazy, go down to like all the big shops and stuff and like ruin everything, like spray paint, break all the windows, like
real mischievous type
like the Zara store was complete. I guess they set it like on fire, so we didn't know this was
Is that
going
just
on.
What's going on politically right now?
Yes.
Okay.
So we are like, okay, well, Sunday we have open, let's go. Okay, I'm going to pronounce this wrong. The Champs-Élysées. You know that?
Awful.
Yeah.
No, I'm just.
You were so close.
Sounds pretty good to me.
You were pretty good.
So close. So
was
we go
did
there.
You get it? I think it's
Champs-Élysées. It's there's just intonation
right.
differences, but
a little bit close enough. You guys knew what I meant.
Yeah.
So we go there on a Sunday.
She does. I don't know anything.
Right. Well, she's got me. I go there on a Sunday. Well, we did, and we were like, okay. What happened here? Most shops will close down and create their own barriers in front of the stores because of the magnitude of like how serious these protesters.
So it's preventative. They
closed down on Sundays. So we were like, or they closed down on Saturdays.
It's almost like the Sunday's their purge day or something, where they sort of they look the
like
other way. We just have to protect. I mean, you can't stop this from
it.
happening, so we'll just protect as best we can.
Like at first, I was like, I noticed like the Levi's store, and I'm like, are those that graffiti and those, is that supposed to be like a look? And then I started realizing, oh no, this is some serious like protesting going on. There have been fires in stores, like it was insane. So that was interesting. And then
that was in Paris.
Yeah, it was just crazy. And then
you know what I mean, right? I'm picturing it's some outskirt of some place, like we went down the wrong street by accident.
Major metropolitan areas anywhere are just never live up to what you think they're going to be, and there's chaos and everything.
Chaos.
That's true.
And I wasn't a big fan of the food. I'm a big food person, so I was like,
French food?
What's up?
How did you not see that coming?
I know.
I mean, I mean, like, whether you like it or not is up to you, but I mean, how did you not expect the food?
You loved Paris.
I didn't have like for food. I was.
You were thinking about the fashion. You were planning out your outfits and what you were going to see and everything.
I won't lie, like the macaroons, the baguettes, the croissants. I was like, all right, I'll go hard body with the carbs this week.
Yeah, but that stuff was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So then,
real good.
Yeah,
okay.
no, it was delicious. And then we went and took the train back to London. And I wish we stayed longer in Paris just because we'd never been to Paris. But London I had been, but I still wish, like, even the food we ate in London, we were finding some new, like, Lebanese places that, I mean, the food was incredible. incredible. And the area we stayed in was so great, and it was like right around the corner from the place I stayed when I first went abroad. I was 16 years old, so a decade ago.
We heard that story. You told us the story.
Yes, the first time I ever went anywhere, I was like by myself, met with my cousins over there.
Right.
So it was right around the corner from where I first stayed in London.
So it was
my
very
first time.
familiar.
Yes, and just, I don't know, I love the energy in London. That's just me personally.
They've got a fashion scene too. It's just not.
Totally. I like their fashion scene.
Okay, good.
No, I had a great time. So that was cool.
When are you moving to London?
I honestly, even I remember being younger.
I can see it on you.
I can too.
Yeah.
Ain't you?
I would love to even like 6 months just do some sort of like, and who knows what would happen after those 6
I see you over there because then you can jaunt to all the places that you think you love, but you know you love London.
While there's a disappointment, there's almost a relief on your
Yeah.
face. It looks like, and I could be way off with this, you tell me. It almost looks like, all right, I know London, but I've got these high hopes for Paris because that's where it really is. And then you went and saw like, and you're like, but London all of a sudden now, it's like there's a relief a little bit of like,
Yeah.
but I like
I
London.
get to
liked
love
London before.
London.
I thought I had to like Paris, but now I can just like London.
I just went in there like, all right, let's see how this goes. But I do want to go to the south of France. I think that's going to be my next, if I'm going back to France. And I've been studying French. I'm on my 206th day. I use an app called Duolingo.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm on my 206th day today.
nicely done.
Yes, so I've been practicing French because I started before the trip because that's what I took in school was French. But I was like, let me like freshen up on it a little bit just
Sure.
in case. So, I was able to communicate a bit with all the locals, which made them happy because, they're already
you're making an effort,
so
right?
happy that us Americans are coming
Yeah.
over. And
I've always heard that making the effort helps, though.
it does. No,
Right.
it does. It,
Yeah.
it really did. And just even knowing the simple basics was good. I'm glad I freshened up because I wouldn't have remembered half of the stuff that I was able to like communicate with certain people.
It kind of separates you from just being an American from the, oh, you're a stupid
It shows the
American.
intent of wanting
stupid,
to
typical
experience
American.
stuff,
Can you
yeah.
just like appreciate it
And
or
they do.
at least
Yeah,
right?
That's wild.
And we did have a moment where there was one nice like local, some guy in the metro system was trying to like scam us, which like, listen, I'm not falling for your scam, but of
You
course
can smell it.
of course this random guy came over and he was like talking to the guy trying to scam us like, these are my sisters, please don't, like, they're okay. And I was kind of shocked that someone came over. He saw two Americans, obviously were American, looked very much like it, but he took the time out of, he doesn't know us,
And he was a stranger, too.
and he was a stranger, and he saw exactly what was going on and came over and told the guy like, get lost, these are my sisters. I'm like, dude, we look nothing alike, how are you gonna pull that off? But and we appreciated he wasn't like looking like, can I have a number, nothing
Following
like that.
you or
He
anything.
was like, have a great day, I just wanted to make sure I saw what was going on. And I was like, you're a good person.
That's a good Samaritan move right
Totally,
there.
it was.
That's
I mean,
incredible.
don't worry, I would have held my own if I had to with that big guy trying to scam us. But
I believe you. I totally believe you.
but we didn't need to. We had some nice man come in and get away from them, my sisters. I was like, yeah, this is my brother. What do you mean?
All right. Well, so travel, it sounds like, is a mixed bag.
No, I love to travel. Don't get me wrong.
No, this particular trip.
It was great. Overall, it was a great time. I just was like coming back like, man, I thought I would be so in love with Paris in a way that like I'm not. But I think it's the south of France. I'm going to go there and be like, bonjour. I'm going to be like,
bonjour.
yeah, right. Bonsoir. Good evening. Goodbye. So I feel like I'll feel that way about, I just love the ocean. Like, I like cities, but I'm like, get me as far away from like everything and let me just go sit in like Mother Nature and water and like not be bothered by anyone. And like that feels good when I do that.
Well, you're describing a little bit of, without the water, the Mother Nature of Breakfast Club. Now, you have since been to Breakfast Club.
Yes, I have.
What did you think? What was your experience? What can you tell other people who haven't been?
Okay, so I was so excited we could finally coordinate going. First of all,
Because it's a weekday. It's
yes,
Friday morning.
on a Friday morning, and I was just like, how am I going to make this work? I need to go at least at some point. And a friend of mine and I were able to make our way up and meet you guys.
Your friend was a car guy, too, who brought a pretty cool car.
Yes, his BMW.
Nice M3.
M4.
Very cool. Oh, excuse me, M4.
Yeah,
Pardon me.
don't get it twisted.
No, I know. I had one, too. I just always forget because it was a branding decision.
Right.
I don't stand by. But anyway, go ahead.
So, first of all, the drive up there, incredible. That drive, I hope everyone that enjoys cars is able to.
It's magic, right?
It really is, and it's so
just like
funny.
the Cars movie.
Right. And
you know, when they go for the cruise up in the hills.
Yeah, and it felt like, I mean, how far away is it from here, would you say, about?
I think it's literally only about 25 miles, 30
right,
miles.
so it
but
felt...
it's because of the craziness in the mountains that it feels like 3 hours away.
But it felt like that small little trek that we made, like we were in a whole nother world when we got to you guys.
Yeah.
It's vacation.
Yes, and even the drive up there was so beautiful, like the sky and just the mountains and everything. It really looks like something not in Los Angeles. So I remember just like feeling like I was leaving the city and going like through some sort of little realm to a new realm of like just nature and quiet, and you can like hear the birds in the sky. I was like, wow.
It's like the other side.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You go through the tunnel and you're on the other side.
Yes, that's what it felt like. So we had a great time. Even just like the energy there, you can tell everyone there is just there to enjoy the day. Had breakfast, which the food was great too, and you know, just
I know you would. I mean, that's the one thing that you could totally forgive if the food totally sucked. You'd be like, yeah, but the drive and the weather and the people and the energy and the nature. The truth is, the food's totally good. It's totally decent.
Right.
It's totally fine.
Totally. Yeah. I wasn't like, I was like, this is great. So
if you ever come for lunch too, I mean, their lunch stuff is great.
I know. I gotta like come again. I might not be able to. I might show up in my little white car, but it's okay.
It doesn't matter what kind. Yep, all welcome.
It's okay.
But yeah, so great time. I love that we were finding pine cones too.
Yes.
I don't even want to lie. I think I still have the pine cone like in my room.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like on my desk. I'm like,
there's two up there on the shelf. There's some on the set behind
and
you.
are they from?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course they are.
Different trips, different.
Hello.
Each one on the bottom. We, typical
Do you
like
date
a
them?
memory thing, or we'll write what it was from. This was
Wow.
the Prim trip or the whatever trip or the blah blah blah. Yeah.
But yeah, I had a great time. We really did. It was just even the energy. It was nice to like get out of LA, but it wasn't also some like full day excursion that had to like, we were able to go do other things, and
You can fit it in.
Yeah.
People don't really realize that because it doesn't seem it, and people are so stuck in their regimented lives.
I know.
You can fit this in if you want to. If you want to make room for it, and then your weekend has started off right. You get the fresh headspace. It's like meditation, getting there and coming out.
Oh, I thought so too. I even got to drive the car on the way back.
Nice.
Nice.
I think I almost gave a heart attack to the co-pilot.
Yeah,
but
that's funny.
that was cool. But it was just nice too, because like I said, it's not some major commitment of like, I have to plan this. It's like, just go start your morning like this. You come back, we get back by noon and have the whole rest of the day. So
Yes.
I'm so happy it worked out. I hope another
Come
time
on,
soon.
yes, come again.
If I can make that happen, don't think I won't. But I had a great time. And even if I can find a way, I'm like, hopefully one day I have a car that can just fit in the lineup too.
Oh, sure.
I hope for it. And speaking of cars, I don't know if I told you guys, but my dad, his beautiful Nova, totaled it.
Oh, shit.
Totaled it.
No,
He
you
did?
did not
He
tell us.
totaled
Well,
it.
at least he did it.
Well,
Not
he didn't
you.
really remember, like, because he had to get like 25 staples in his head.
Let's back up a little
Okay.
bit, because I on here is for me to ask about your dad. How's your dad doing, for one, other than this particular instant? Is he all right?
He's been healing great from the accident, but I've been all up calling him for the past few days. He barely answers and he brushes me off the phone.
For other people, your dad suffers from Parkinson's,
Yes,
though.
yes.
So, I mean, and he's a former military guy. I mean, a regimented man who's been a strong man his whole
Yes.
life, and he's now dealing with something where he has to be different.
Yes.
So everything about his life is different. He was a
Totally.
car guy, had this Nova. Now tell us what happened.
So, first of all, and if you're watching, Dad, sorry, but I get he wants to drive the car. I think it's his, like, it makes him feel like he's him,
Yeah.
but maybe he shouldn't be driving, like, a car with that much horsepower, too. We always all were like, should we be...
Can you remind us what year? I'm just going to move that a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
What year and what color and all
I think
that?
it was a 72 bright red Chevy Nova. He got
cherry.
like a brand new engine put in that was like over $10,000, like 540 or 600 horsepower, something crazy. So
I'm sure it's a
no
monster.
power steering, like just
Lots of power and no power steering.
so anytime we drive, he's like this. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyways, all of us were kind of like, should he even be driving this damn car? But what are you going to say to a grown... No.
You're never going to win that
No.
battle. He's got to crash it. That's the only way.
Okay, so I get a call from my mom. Well, something was weird, I could tell one morning, and I'm like, what is going on? And then my mom was like, I know you're at work. I don't want to blah, blah, blah. Your father's in the hospital. He totaled his car, like, fractured breastplate or what, like, staples.
Oh, really? Fractured his sternum?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And then, like,
oh, he hit the steering wheel. There's no airbags
yes.
or anything, so sure.
And he has a battery pack in his chest and in his head that are connected that has, like, a remote control to, like, handle the voltage in his body.
To handle his tremors, right?
So it like, really hit the battery pack, but it didn't damage it in a way that, like, it still functions, no problem.
He's
so
not leaking acid in his cavity or anything.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point. So my mom tells him, you have 9 lives, like, you blah, blah, blah. So he's like, I just hit the car. Like, my mom's like, your car's totaled. He's like, what? Okay, so all of us are like, no more. This is not happening.
Hang on, was it totaled? Who was right? Was he right or was she right?
Totaled.
So did he have an episode or something and he didn't remember it? Or was it? Because keep in mind, in 1972, Chevy Nova, it takes a lot to total because there's such a big, heavy, strong, hard car.
It went, like, over, like, off the highway into a ditch, wrapped around a tree, upside down. He doesn't remember it because he, was in an accident. Like, he doesn't remember any of it.
But he remembered that he thought he had a fender bender or something.
Yes, he does remember, like, oh, blah, blah. So my mom's like, you totaled the car. Like, this is done. So he was more upset about the car being totaled than him in the hospital. He's like, this happens all the time. I'm fine. It's like the
we're
car.
Dealing with mourning now.
Okay, so we're like, all right, well,
loss.
that's done. We know next week goes out and buys a brand new Corvette, bright yellow.
Yellow car. Wow, like literally brand new, as in like a brand new car. Or just new to him?
No, it's pretty new. I don't remember the exact year.
But again, we're talking about a high horsepower.
With all the computer and
maybe he's got all the nannies now. Maybe it'll help him keep it on the road.
Why this color? Why the yellow like you know what I mean? Just like
I do know what you mean.
No, of course you do. Yes, and I thought about that because his truck is bright orange, so it's just like he's been picking. Oh. So I'm like, what's this color? Because I asked him, I'm like, the orange one. Why?
Don't you think he? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say why the orange one. Blah blah blah. Whatever. The yellow one. That one had the sports package that he wanted. So
I agree with that, but also I could see, I know for me anyway, and with you even, when certain things get limited or get taken away from you, you just substitute in other places.
Totally.
I mean, it's a normal thing, almost like addiction. Like, when you stop drinking, you start eating sugar.
Right,
and
or drinking Red Bulls. I've seen that before. I won't get into
same kind of thing, you know what I mean? So it's like,
right.
All right, well,
let me get this.
It's the loud, flashy color for the whatever.
Yeah, it is. And it's
sometimes
automatic.
You need something bright in your day.
Right,
to
exactly.
Be okay.
And the shirt that you got on too.
Hello, all smiles right there.
I love that shirt.
So it sounds like a chaotic situation, but I'm with your dad on this one.
I am too.
I'm like, I'm not going to stop him. Please go enjoy your Corvette. I'll drive it when I'm home.
Great.
Sounds good.
All right. So other than the accident, how is he doing?
He seems to be doing pretty good, except I've called him for like the past 4 days. He's answered one time and it was like...
He's out driving.
That too, but the one time he got me off the phone like this. And I was like, all right, well, if you remember who I am, I'm your daughter. If you want to give me a... No, I'm kidding. But he's busy. He has this new car. Like,
new lease on life too.
Right. Like, he's like out there having a good old time. So I'm like, when you got some free time, you know who to call.
How old is he now?
56. He's turning 57 this year. Watch, I'm gonna be off, and he's gonna be like, "You don't know my age." No, I think he's 56.
No, that's all right.
Right.
That gives
around
me the ballpark.
there. Right.
Yeah.
He's cool. He'll be fine. My little sister just moved back home from Texas too, so they're all so happy.
Why? Or after school, or?
She was going to school out in Texas. Then she moved. She's going back to school in New York. She got like a scholarship to one of the schools in our hometown, and just she needed to like go back home. And I'm like, go and save your money. Don't pay rent. She's just turned 20.
Yeah, that's great.
Right. I'm like, you don't even know.
If you have the opportunity to.
I'm like, if I had the opportunity, if I had a parent out here, I didn't have to pay rent. I'd be like, I'm staying here till.
Right.
Till I don't have to.
Right, till exactly. So I told her, she was like, I don't want to. I'm like, just like, make the move. It's okay. You did it. You went to Texas. They always say, like, I took all the independent genes from both parents. She doesn't really have that. So we were all really proud. And I'm not knocking her. I just.
No, but you have no problem getting up and going someplace new and doing something.
She sounds like she's a little more reserved.
Totally. Like, I was like out at like 13, like, oh, I'm staying at my friend's house, whereas like she wasn't sleeping over friends' houses till she was like 18. Like, I guess I'll go stay the night.
I think you usually stopped doing it a couple years before that.
Whatever it is, like, I was just
Late
always
bloomer.
the one, right? I was
We'll call
always
it that.
out. Like, I don't get homesick. I'm going here, here, and here, and here, and traveling all over. And like, I'll see you guys next month.
You're living
Whereas
in the future.
she is like, you know, homebody, which, you know, we're very opposite, but that's my home girl. You know, it's cool to have a little sister who you can like. Also, I just think of back to myself when I was that age, and I thought like certain things, end of the world, this and that.
Gosh.
And I'm like, little did I know, my life is just getting started as I speak right now.
Yeah.
And all of what used to be crises are just like,
What?
Getting out of bed.
I don't even
Nothing
think
matters.
of anything that happened. I'm like, none of that even.
it didn't matter by the end of the day, that day, way back when.
Right. So I try and like give her a little of my wisdom and show her like, hey, the things I promise this won't matter in like a year.
Have you guys ever traveled together? Or would you?
Yeah, no, I would travel with her.
Because I'm thinking that might help. That might bridge the gap.
Right. She's came and like stayed out here, but that's not like traveling together.
You-
No, if
taking
she's
a
coming
trip
with
together.
you. That's what I mean. Someplace
Right.
going where
Maybe I gotta
you can
take
rub
her
off on each
some-
other a
right.
little bit.
I know.
I think
And
that would be
influence each other.
fun and awesome and
she'd probably
everything.
be like, whenever you want to go.
Great. Then I
Perfect.
can't wait to have you back
Well, let's
after
hope
you do
she's
that.
watching as well.
No,
Yes.
I'll be like, hey, you got to watch this. We gave you a shout out. Hey, little
What's her
birdie.
name?
Rachel, but I call her Bird.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tell you the story real quick.
Especially because it'll probably embarrass her. Let's hear it.
Oh, it's funny. So I think she was like 9 years old. I'm 6 years older, so what was I, about 15? And I remember one day she came into the computer room and she's like, can you keep a secret? And I'm already like, what's this little tiny about to tell me? Like,
Seriously.
what are? She's like, I have a Facebook. And I was like, oh my gosh. You know, like I'm over there like, no way does this little one like coming to me like, I have to tell you know, I'm expecting something totally different. No, she has a Facebook. So I don't do Facebook anymore. It'll be an interesting day, the day that I ever get Facebook again. I don't see it happening, but I don't want to like judge myself on anything, but I had one at the time. I'm trying to find
I'm
her.
judging myself currently for having it still, for having
I
not
haven't had it
gotten
in
rid of it.
years.
I want to hear your story, but let's talk about Facebook
Right.
after.
Oh, please. So I'm looking for her, and I'm like, I can't find you. And she's like, well, I didn't put it under my real name because I didn't want mom and dad to find it. And I'm like, well, then what did you put it under? And she's like, it's Rachel Burden. And I'm like, where'd the burden come from? She's like, well, I saw a bird fly by, so that's
Oh, B-I-R-D.
B-I-R-D, not like B-U-R-D,
Yeah,
not like a
which is
real
what a-
burden,
right.
like a little birdie. So we always, from then, like, of course, I ran and told my parents immediately. I was like, this is
It's
so
adorable. It's
funny.
hilarious.
I'm like, what? So that was ever since then, like, that's over 10 years ago. Everyone, down to my friends, my family, we all call her Bird, little birdie. And now she
a
like
bird flew
left.
by.
I'm like, the little birdie flew the coop. Like, you're turning into a big bird now. So even in my phone, her name is Bird in there. Like, so that's a whole story. But yeah, Facebook. Ugh, I can't stand it. And I know I don't want to even like give it.
When
the
did you
airtime.
get rid of it?
Like 5 years ago.
Oh, so that was all right. So why at the time?
You know, I do remember, and part of me is like, oh, I should have kept it because I don't know how, but I amassed like 5,000 Facebook friends.
That's
I don't
the
know
only reason I haven't deleted
I
it is
shouldn't
because there are
have.
5,000 people on there that most of which I don't know.
Right.
But I feel in my mind for some reason there's some tool or I've
There's a way you
made a
can
connection with
utilize
them and
that.
I feel like I'd be letting them down if I blah blah blah. You know, it's weird. It's all up here I think for me.
Right. And part of me is like, wow, imagine if you kept that, you could have used that as a platform to keep pushing the messages you're pushing. But at the same time, like, I remember sitting there like, there's over 5,000 people on my friend. I don't know who.
And you don't
and
know
I
them,
talked
and
to
that's-
like 5 people.
Yeah.
What the F is this? So I got
This
rid
is
of
the
that.
same struggle.
And, you know, it's not like
But what was the decision? How did you get there to be like, yeah, this is dumb?
I don't know. I have a thing with social media. Like, I see, like, when I remind myself that I can use it as as a tool
Yeah.
to tell stories.
Facebook, have a seat.
Right. But when I remind myself I can use it as a tool to tell a story, it gets me excited because then I
shit.
know it's coming from a place of like genuine, you know, but when
You just triggered something to me when you said that. When I can use it as a tool to tell a story, it's
And-
like, oh, geez,
well, that's
why
what
it's
you guys
good.
are doing. Exactly. When I remind myself and put it in that perspective, I'm like, yes, I like social media, but then there's days where I'm like, man, F this. I could go off this. I went off it for a year. I could have stayed, but I know that I have like a message I want to put out and spread joy and just all the knowledge that I'm learning and being put onto. I want to relay that to other people. So I have like this, it's like a seesaw. Like there's days where I'm like, I'm about to delete all this shit and I'm out. Like catch me on the beach.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'll be on some island. You won't hear from me. I'll be at my 20-year reunion. Like, hey everyone, what do you do? I live in Fiji and I tend to my pufferfish or what, you know what I mean? Whatever I do. But then I remember like I've always wanted to just push the movement and be able to spread my knowledge about cannabis and fashion and culture and just things that like I even down to my blog In a Real Cool Mood. Like how can I inspire you to be in your coolest mood ever? Because I know when I'm in my cool mood, and that's coming from a place of like my soul, I'm maneuvering through the day way better than if I'm waking up and I'm not reminding myself of why I'm waking up to maneuver through the day and do what I came here to do.
It's almost like you don't even have to maneuver because the world maneuvers around you in the weirdest
like when you're coming from, it's like
the flow just sort of goes around you.
I feel like the soul is like your blueprint or your guidance throughout the, I don't know how to, like throughout your life. Like it's kind of like your map. You just have to like listen, and that's
you say soul. I say tether a lot because I can't quantify it. We can't see it.
Right.
We can't point to it. We can't look at it. We can't study it. So I'm kind of like
right.
In my mind, it's just an invisible tether to something.
Right. I've been doing a lot of like energy work too, and I know some people are like, what are you even talking about? You sound
you're
like
crazy.
You sound like you're
Get a job. Stop thinking.
I'm like, you start thinking because you're moving on autopilot and that must suck. No, I know that's not nice. But
that's how I feel too, though, because they're letting the subconscious do all the work.
Please, I can't do that. I really can't. I mean, especially like even what's going on in the world right now. Like there's a huge shift going on. I can feel it. I can feel it in my body.
Yes.
Like I know I'm not the only person. I've talked to a lot of people who have felt super similar. But you know, I won't get too much into it because I know some people are like, whoa, like that's a lot of information. I don't even know what you sound like. You're talking crazy.
It's too much too soon.
Yes, but even getting down to like your chakras and aligning and doing clearing and energy work, like for me, I've just been connecting to it and meditating. Like I do it every day. And
what's your meditation?
I would say.
Do you have your own that just is whatever?
I usually do. I won't lie. Like I use YouTube and I'll do like a 10-minute meditation. It depends on how I'm feeling. If there's
like
something,
a guided though type of thing, or is it just okay?
It usually is. Like sometimes I have an exact like, okay, I need a little clarity right now. 15-minute meditation for clarity. I'll type that in, find one that looks like I want to use it, and I lay there, I turn off my lights, I shut my door, and I just allow myself to go to that place, usually when I get home from work. In the morning, I always have like, I've done like a 3 to 5 minute one, just to, the first thing that goes into my head is positive. Like I do that.
But again, you're mindful enough. You're conscious enough that you're running all of these programs. You're making these decisions. Right. You're saying, I want to think this right now. I want to do this right now. It's a lot of stuff that people don't know they even have the ability to do, let alone how to do it.
Right. And I know that like Right. Like,
it's a tricky thing that seems so obvious once you know, but like people don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't want to go through my life on autopilot. I don't want to go through and just coast through this thing called life and not get out of it what I was brought here to do. And when I break it down to like the simplest things, I know as myself, I am here to be a service to the world and the universe in whatever way I can be. When I break it down, that's what I connect to when I know I'm here, like on this planet for a reason. And I just try and follow that. And I mean, I'm telling you, these past few weeks, like I've been clearing, like I feel like I'm an onion, like peeling layers back. And
onions have layers, ogres have layers.
Right. Oh, man. So I feel like, and it's like energy is, some people don't know, some people are like, you're talking a whole bunch of BS. That's not even, but it's like energy, like we have a lot of energy we are energy. We're
literally electricity. Yes.
Literally. So also there's a lot of like energy that's stored in our bodies from like years and years and years ago. And like, that's, people
don't believe that.
Right.
People don't even believe that. People don't believe that there's not just fat in fat cells. There's trauma in fat cells, and everything else. Stuff is stored everywhere. We're just a hard drive.
This is just the vessel for like what's really, and it's
everything you've collected along the way.
And people don't even realize, like, I'm doing a lot of work to like peel these layers back and clear. And another part that I'm learning is like, when you clear that, it has to come up somehow. It's going to surface. I can feel it. Like, I felt it in my body. And how you guys spoke about taking a rest, as I've said, I've been doing this energy work and trying to like clear my body. And I will say I do feel lighter. Like, I don't know if my soul that feels lighter, my body, it's just, but I can feel it. It's surfacing. It has to come out somehow. And it's like, I can feel it. And I've been like not in the gym for the past 2 weeks or week and a half because I've just been like, whoa, I got to give my body,
You're
like, I can
yourself.
feel a lot of things coming out that like are from like healing from like past situations, even from 10 years ago. Like,
yeah. Well, I think there's perhaps personal stuff going on too, but I feel like depending on what, I don't know what you read, but you certainly seem open to all this stuff. There's a lot of energetic stuff. You mentioned politics and a few other things. There's an energetic shift going on the globe.
Right.
Going on right now. And I don't think it's just politics. I think it's something bigger.
I do too. I think, I don't want to get too much into politics, but there's a woman running in the Democratic Party, Marianne Williamson.
Okay.
She's phenomenal. My friend Margaret actually kind of introduced me to her and all of her, like, her books and just the way
She's the spiritual lady, yeah?
Yes, yes. And I mean, she's running.
She's running?
Yes, and she's like, the light is going to drive out the hate. Like, I'm coming for you, Trump, and you watch, like, light is going to be the answer. And people
that's
are
the
like,
only answer, yeah.
People are like, oh, she's crazy. Who's this spiritual weirdo? And I'm like, are you people, I don't even want to point fingers, but it's like, open your mind.
Do you think that will work, or do you think that will then precipitate the end of the world, which will then, start the whole clock over?
Man, I don't know what it is, but
Because I feel like if the light comes for the dark, when the dark's holding the button, the dark has no choice but to push the button.
Right, the dark's going to push the button because that's how the dark works.
I mean, and I'm talking hypothetically. I'm not applying any of the light or dark to any people or anything. I'm just saying, fundamentally speaking, when you've got two of anything binary.
A light soul and a dark soul,
Yeah, anything binary.
Right.
It's duality. It's all duality.
Totally.
That like every superhero movie is based on.
Right.
Like good and evil and blah, blah, blah. It's all the same. And it's all going to be fine, I think.
I think
she's
so
a good
too.
energy to have in the mix.
Okay, so I'm saying the opposite. I'm curious if this will work or if this will facilitate the end of the world. So I don't think everything will just be fine. But it could be. You might be right. I was just asking about the other. Do you think it'll just all be...
I think everyone is going to go, oh... There's good and bad on both sides. Like, it's all going to come out in the wash.
Everything's everything.
I think just the truth, honestly. I think the truth is going to come out. I think a lot of people are going to have to wake up and, like, just wake up. There's a lot of things going on. And, like, if you just keep coasting, like, I don't know, just me personally, I can't do that. I can't. There's things going on in the world that are definitely not okay. And I think that things need to be done, and I think especially like people in charge right now, and this is just my personal opinion, like when it's coming from a place of that greed and it's gonna crumble. I think so, because that's the way the universe works. Like, and I'm a big believer in that whole destroy and rebuild process. I think we all as humans go through that on the regular. I know
it's a butterfly.
Yeah, like you go in your cocoon, you got to figure it out. I know I'm gonna go through it again in my life. Great, but I'll deal with it, because now I'm at a point where I'm like, bring it. Because the wisdom I have from my past situations and all the shit I've gone through,
you can handle it.
I'm like, if I can make it through that,
warrior
bring
princess,
anything my way. That's really how I feel. And I can't let life and things get me out of my like element, because I know everything's going to be cool. I know everything's going to unfold how it's meant to, and the timing of everything happens exactly when it's supposed to.
Well, you're in a real cool mood.
Always. I mean, for the most part. At certain times I'm not. I'm like, okay, do we need to go meditate? What do we need to do right now?
Either way, you're working to keep it up.
Right. At least I'm making an effort. And that's sometimes I have to remind myself that too, because I'm like, you're making an effort. Some people go through life and don't try at all. So
you're not at zero.
Right. So I'm like, please don't be so, I get hard on myself about things. I really do. And I'm like, are you a psychopath or what? Because you're doing the best you can do.
But that's the struggle.
Right.
If you didn't have that, you wouldn't be the person you are.
Right.
You wouldn't be so awesome.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like and it's almost an artist mentality too, though. You know, like, oh, I'm never good enough. And it's like, nah, man, everyone loves what you're doing.
Right. And I'm over here like, how can I do this better? This is not. And I'm like, okay.
That's great, though. That's your struggle. You're always going to be better. It's self-betterment.
Always. I'm like, oh, this could be way better. This could be way better.
Tell me what's going on with cannabis in your world right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I will. Lots of things.
Because we've got some new products that you're thinking about. You're launching soon. Can we talk? You tell me how much we can talk about.
So I've been working on my own CBD product for a bit now. It's still in the works. I'm still working with labs and getting it all situated. I haven't really talked about it because
we know about it, of course.
Yes. I just want
it sounds very, very exciting.
It feels it, and it's like for me when I find something I connect to and it comes from a place of like, what can this do to make a better impact on people? And even I thought of myself, like the product I'm working on, I ultimately needed it. So that's why I was like, well, I can't find it, so I'm going to make it. So I'll tell you guys more. And of course, when it comes, you will be the first. I would love to, like, maybe we could figure something.
I think that's a great reason to start something, though. Oh, this doesn't exist. Oh, I'm going to make it because we need it.
Right. Right. So
it's great ways to
innovate. I'm saluting you before you even launch.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
I'm doing it all on my own. I mean, I wouldn't say all on my own. I have some people guiding and supporting, but I've really been teaching myself as I go. And I'm like, it's not the easiest thing. There's a lot of things like business things. Like I didn't go to business school. I do want to go back to school, but not anytime soon. Maybe next year. I'll figure
maybe in
it
the
out.
south of France.
Exactly. I like that idea. But yes, we'll talk more when that comes out and is more.
But it's a CBD related product.
Yes.
And can we call it a personal product?
Yes.
Yeah, personal product.
Yes. So we will talk more when that comes out.
Love
and then on another end, I am working on my first short film as a creative producer.
This is huge.
It's
because this
cool.
is not something you've done before. This
Never.
is new.
Yes, and totally.
We want you to be a producer because we want you to work on this show eventually.
I would love that.
Let's absolutely.
I'm learning. Who knows? Maybe it'll all come full circle.
Tell us what it is. Tell us how it came about and why you decided to do it.
So it is. I don't know if I'm able to say the campaign name out loud yet, just because it's not my. I mean, I'm working on it, but it is about, I think, 9 different women in the cannabis industry, from all different walks of life, mothers, people in the CBD beauty world. People.
So not just tastemakers in the cannabis world, but maybe users.
It is. It's actually not like the influencers. It's not that group of people.
Regular people.
It's women who their day-to-day life, whether they're a grower, a dispensary owner, a product owner, anyone. Like we're kind of going over the list, and it's just people from all different areas and how they've integrated cannabis in their life and how, one, that it's helped, and two, like what the impact in the things they're doing, how it's changed their life ultimately. And it's cool just to see all the differences between all of these people, but they have one common denominator, and that's cannabis.
Wow.
It's really phenomenal. So we're highlighting 9 different women. We start filming tomorrow.
Wow.
With one of my
Literally, you are in.
Yes, with one of my favorite people. So, we're putting together the film.
Did you put together forgive me for cutting you off there. Did you put together you said a creative producer, so did you help facilitate who the choice of these 9 women are and all that?
Yes.
That's very cool.
Yes.
So you're really helping make this product, not just facilitate it.
Yes. So I'm super excited. It's going to be really awesome, and just I align with it because I'm a female in cannabis, and I'm a female who's trying to push this movement and show people.
Are you going to be one of the 9?
No, I'm not.
You should be. No, I'm serious. Like, even consider making it 10. Just saying. Down the road, think about it. I don't want to get into pushing you to do it, but you should think about it.
I'm about to go back to the producer.
Listen to me. You're a good voice.
Thank you.
For what you do.
Thank you.
And that's why you're here for a third time. You know what I mean? Like you're somebody who should
third
be
time's a charm.
Talking about this.
Right. We'll see if I'm the right candidate for them. No, I'm kidding. But
just saying.
Right. So I'm excited.
We'll talk. There's lots of. You're right. You should be involved somehow.
About to go hit them on an email. Like, I got the 10th candidate. No, I'm kidding. But it's just cool because we're going to be filming these people in their element, like whether it's in the female, her grow herself, and really showing like this is how she works, this is her life. And I just think it's really important to break the stigma and showcase like a mother who is using cannabis on her day-to-day to get through her life, to tend to her child, and
is able to do it, right?
And is able to do it all.
It's not just
and
leaving
kick ass.
the burner on.
No, and she's right. They're showing how like this is way more than just like a stoner mom.
But that's what they show in the movies or whatever. They show the
like
guy
the mom,
who left the water on in the thing and flooded the basement.
That's what they showcase, the stone, and it's like we're gonna show you that's actually totally different. Even last night,
I would never, ever, ever use, because I use it recreationally occasionally or just for my neck or whatever. I would never use it at all if that were the result.
Right.
If I were the stoner from the movies.
I think most people wouldn't.
Don't get anything done, just laying around on the couch eating potato chips.
Like,
I'm like,
don't get me wrong. There's times like at nighttime I'll smoke a really heavy, like I like flour. I'm not really into like everything else, but I'll try things,
natural,
but
right?
I like my flour, and I mean, there's times like at night where I'll get myself in a whole nother realm, and I'm like, Googling the weirdest things. But it's like those, that does seem like a typical stoner. But it's like during the day, I take CBD every single morning. Like as soon as I wake
up, put it in your coffee or
something. Normally, I'll just pop it right under my tongue, like a tincture. Yeah, I use a tincture. Papa and Barkley is the brand I'm using currently, which they're a phenomenal company too.
We've used some of their rubs before. I think at some point either they or somebody sent us some, and they were great. To the point where I'd like to get more. I don't know where to get it. But those little, it's like a little wooden cap thing, and honestly, for like all the rheumatism and all of arthritis and everything as well, neck injuries and stuff.
I use like little bits of it until one day I by accident used too much. Like I need to use more of it. That's the lesson. Like it's so good and thick and potent and it stays.
Yeah,
awesome.
Topicals are amazing. I never
knew that.
Oh my gosh, I use them on the regular. I get them from my dad because he has, on top of all his other situations, arthritis too. So he uses it, and he has found that it helps him. And right now I have him on a tincture, and it's like just the power of this plant. It's like it can do so much for so many people, and I could go on and on and on about it, but it's
one of those things. It's so magical. I almost don't know if it's so magical or if it only does one thing, which is make you believe that you can change yourself. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't have to be sick. I don't have to have this pain. I don't have to have this tremor. I don't have to.
Totally. I mean, pretty much when you break it down to like what THC and CBD are doing is it brings your body to homeostasis, so it brings your body in balance. So whether you're under processing, over whatever it is, it's bringing your body back to like the normal state. So it's just incredible. But I think it's just,
if that were ever explained to me, I feel like it would almost be, this would be like required.
Right.
People walking down the street, hey, have you taken your cannabis pills? Prove it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That should be the police lesson, because like if you're not in a good mood, buddy, we don't want you in this city.
Right. And it's like there's someone recently I was having a conversation with, and she mentioned like, how can I, talking about making the next 6 months the happiest of her life, and I was like, that stuck with me. How do I, I'm not saying I'm not a happy person. I generally, I'm enjoying life. I'm coasting. I'm water. I'm fluid. Like we were, like I really try not to get too upset about things, because life, you never know when your time is going to, in the physical.
People always say you could die tomorrow.
Exactly.
And I constantly change that to, you could die fucking today.
I could, I don't want to say that actually.
No,
but speaking into existence.
But right here and now, people always think, oh, tomorrow you could wake up dead. Like, no, man, today. It could happen right now.
It could, whenever your time. So that's why it's like my grandpa always would say to me, I'm just happy to wake up and put my 2 feet on the floor. And sometimes it's hard, and things can happen where it's like you want to get in that zone where it's like not the most fun and not the most happiest, but sometimes you got to pull yourself out, and that's sometimes the one thing you have to do is pull yourself out of there. And it's not easy, but you got to do it. It's like, remember, you're just happy to be here. Like all this stuff, it's not going to matter.
Just living with a grateful mentality.
Totally. Like I have my moments, but I'm really working through them to like be my best self, and every day, like, how can I be happier?
Sounds like everybody, right? I mean, anybody who's fighting the fight, trying to be better.
Yeah, like what can I do, and making a conscious effort of making an effort. Not just like I woke up in a bad mood. It's like, okay,
I was going to say that earlier. People, that's where they leave it.
That's a crutch.
Hey man, what's the matter with you today? Oh, I woke up in a bad mood.
What?
Or whatever the fuck. And it's
And
like,
you didn't
and you
do
never
anything-
changed
you
it?
didn't do
That's
anything
it?
about
It's
it?
2
So you're
o'clock.
still
What are you
living
doing?
in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's your choice, man.
What? Get out of here. I'm not trying to go through my day like that. Like, I've had things irritate the shit out of me, and I'm like, okay.
Moment to moment, you got to get over that shit immediately.
How do I snap out of this place? Because I'm not going on through my day like this. Why would I do that? No way.
Then they win.
Right. And I'm just, just trying to peel back the layers and like, how can I get to that place of like, I mean, those monks that just like are in that peaceful place. I don't know if I'll get there. Maybe I will. That would be awesome. But I'm just like, it's finding that balance of like living in the present, but also, and not diving too much into the past or the future, but still understanding the ties and the things you've learned and from your past, as well as having goals of what you want to succeed. But you have to find the balance. Like that's,
The whole time is an illusion thing. I subscribe to that
Right.
wholeheartedly.
Right.
And it's one of those, it's just, stop worrying about that. Tell me what you want.
Right.
Let's start with that. Tell me what would make your life absolutely perfect, and don't hold back.
Right.
Start
And then
from the
let's
basics.
let's figure it out, because we
Right.
can get you there.
Right.
It's just moving boxes. It's just
It's
Tetris.
just puzzle
it's just,
pieces. That's what I
absolutely.
always say. It's like you have the puzzle pieces. You just have to maneuver them.
Yep.
And I don't know. I've just I'm like, I know everyone's like, oh, you're so young. But I'm like, damn, I moved here 5 years ago. Like, but I'm like, one, I know everything that's going to unfold will unfold exactly when it's meant to. But it also has kind of ignited in me, like, you know what you want to do. You just do it.
You're wholeheartedly an intuitive person, and I can that's, I believe, how we
Yeah.
met. And so I think that a lot of this stuff is built in for you. I should probably be speaking for myself. A lot of this stuff was built in for me my entire childhood, only child. I thought that I had a pretty good handle on things when I was a kid. And then you start to grow up and you start to believe what they tell you and whatever. And like, oh, no, you got to blah, 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 do these 6 things to grow up. And I was like,
Right.
oh, shit. So somewhere in the back of my head, I've always got to, once I get my shit together, I'm going to start doing those 6 things, and then I'll be an adult. And then at some point, I started to get my shit together, and I started to do those 6 things, and I started losing who the fuck I was
were.
and where my intuition
Right.
always knew what was right, and always the difference between right and wrong, and this and
Right.
that, and black and white, and whatever the fuck. I think the intuition should not be overlooked. I think that that's something, if you already know that, then salute you and stay you.
Right.
I think a lot of people don't listen to themselves. They listen to all of the buzz, everybody
Right.
else, what she said, what
Right.
my guy at work said, what they said.
And
You know
right.
inside. Whether you trust yourself or not is a different issue that I don't want to tackle today, but
No.
you do know
Neither.
inside, I guarantee it. Whether it's
Right.
the little guys on the shoulders or the
Right.
cartoons or whatever, you do.
And I know even, I'm not perfect. I've had my times where I haven't listened to myself, and those learning experiences I needed because they taught me what happens when you don't listen to yourself and you don't follow through with what is being screamed at you.
What you know is right on the inside.
You're screaming it to me inside. Why are you like, the soul is like, ah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you not listening? So I've had experiences that have showed me that, where it's like, listen to yourself, because at the end of the day, no matter what, when you're true to you, like, you can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
No.
It's just like telling the truth. They always say,
Right.
honesty
Oh,
always
man.
wins.
Right.
It's the same thing.
I think it's so important once, speak your own truth and be truthful to other people. That's something I'm, big on. We don't have to get into that whole spiel, but
No, we're out of time.
Of
We're out of
course.
time. I mean, but I just so enjoy speaking with you.
I
I really,
know.
really do.
I could
the
sit
energy
for
that
hours.
goes. It's not maybe the best show of question and interview, but the conversation and the places we
And
go,
just
I
unfold.
really enjoy. Yeah.
I mean, I know we'll get to the point where I'm hopping on working on this show.
I hope so.
Better.
Well, that brings me up. Brings me to a point I wanted to bring up. After you did do your trip, you sent some, some clips and stuff. I think you should be doing more of that, and I'm asking you to do it for us if you want to. But I think you should be doing more of that for you.
And, I won't get into it too much, but I'll tell you, I've always, like, I should do a YouTube channel. I should do a podcast. And
Yes.
I will tell you, this morning, I have all the equipment for everything I need. I get kind of weird in a space where I'm like, I like to stay in my bubble, but I did bring my little remote control in my bag. That is my self-timer, because I was like, I need to start capturing moments more of what
Yes.
I'm doing, because it's like, I don't know, I enjoy my life. I like what I'm doing. It's kind of different than what and I feel like I should be showcasing the things I'm learning and just experiencing. So today in my purse,
This is going to be your service. I agree with you.
Today in my purse, that little remote control is in there. We'll see if I use it.
Is it for your phone? So you can set your phone up
Yes.
oh, that's great.
Yes. So
You better.
And I shouldn't have said it out loud because now
Now it's done. Yeah, it's in the universe.
I know.
But you know what I'm saying, though? Those because we have a number of people that contribute to the show,
Right.
and I really liked what you were doing, but I liked you, and I would like to see where you go with it. And I
Right.
think that
maybe we can.
I think
find
that
a way
when you
to
figure out where you go with it, I think you might have a new path for yourself too. I'm not saying that you know
No,
what I mean. You know what I'm
you're
saying?
right.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
No,
Okay.
you're like so right, and it's been on my mind a lot lately. But just
So
kinda
when
like-
you're at a thing or at whether it's a function or you're a grow thing or whatever you feel like it, if you want to check in with us, you can do that. All right. So
I
hey,
know.
Jay and Nicole, right now I'm over at so and so, and you know what I mean.
maybe just like
be interested.
talking this out real quick. Maybe moving forward, I can just any place I'm at that I'm like, this seems like a good. I'll send it on over.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, cool. I like it.
I think this is a good path for you. You're all about spreading a message, so start
Why
doing
not?
it.
And you
Start
do it
doing
inherently. It's nothing has to be produced and planned and
Right,
orchestrated.
right.
Like,
Yeah,
I
don't
noticed-
change you or
I
what
noticed-
you're doing. You're already doing all of the work.
Yeah,
just
I know.
capture it.
Right. When I plan for it is when, because it's not. It's
that's
like
when
this-
shit always goes wrong.
Me too.
Man, come on. I'm
Just
like.
make sure you have it with you, like you
Right.
said, and then when you can want to pull it out.
Today, it's just started where I'm
Awesome.
like, bring this with you. You don't know where you're going to end up today and need to take out your remote control and start filming yourself. So we'll see.
Are you enjoying it now that you were nervous the first time and you don't seem nervous at all today?
I
Have
honestly,
you-
because and first of all, you guys, out of anyone that I could do my kind of first filming with, you guys are probably the best people it could be with. But I feel way more comfortable, and I just also remember when it comes down to it, I'm telling a story. Like I used to always be like, don't get me on that camera. Like I don't want to be on your camera. I don't want to talk. I don't want to be in the limelight. I don't even want to go talk to all these people. I always was kind of like, I'm cool over here. But I think I need to get the F over that and just, I do feel more comfortable though. I do. I think it's just because I'm like, what were you tripping on to begin with? That's just more of an in the head thing.
I think being out front of something is where you're supposed to be,
Yeah.
and that's why you're probably hesitant.
Gonna bring the weirdness to the.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was for me. I didn't make sense because I was always a talk show host without a talk show my entire life. I was this personality, and I
Right.
just didn't have this. So it was like, whatever. But once you start leaning into it and just acknowledge, like, whatever.
Just like roll with it.
Yeah, I equated it to coming out of the closet. Once I said, hey, guess what? I'm gay. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, I'm gay.
You need this shirt. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. But you know what I mean? My
Right.
point. It's like you never knew this about me, but I've had this big secret, and it's who I really am. It's all the same kind of thing.
It's just like you said, coming it. I think that is a great way to put it, and I feel that way. I'm like, once I just get over that hump of being like, get over yourself. Like, it doesn't need to be some crazy production. You're fine in front of a camera.
Yes.
I'm sure it's gonna unfold in a way that I'm like, they were right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
You guys
You're
too.
awesome. Mrs. Ryan, time
Yes,
to
sir.
wrap it up.
Oh, wow.
7-Eleven, we didn't mention that today. Did anybody get
Yes.
their free Slurpee?
What do you? Oh no.
I jokingly thought to myself, I wish Chad was here today, so he's a PA, so we could send him over to 7-Eleven to get 7-Eleven so we could have Slurpee, even if they weren't full, so we could have Slurpee cups for the show on 7-Eleven. And I thought, that'd be nice if we had a PA to just a little thing. And then 10 minutes later, I looked up and 7-Eleven giving away free Slurpees because of 7-Eleven. And it's their anniversary or something. I don't know.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Aren't you glad I brought it up here at the end?
I'm about to leave and go to 7-Eleven.
I bet.
All right, let's see. Mrs. Ryan, this weekend. All right, this weekend. So tomorrow, everybody, we've got Breakfast Club, which you know. We've got the Karina Roberts taking Breakfast Club Porsche photos on the Crest from
Beautiful.
8:30 to 9:15. Photos by Karina. Saturday, we're at Auto Kennel Lag, 9 to 11, Costa Mesa, and Benton Performance Barbecue. I don't know if we'll be there from 1 to 6, but the event goes from 1 to 6 over there in Anaheim. Sunday, Malibu and Muffins and the pool. See you there.
Awesome.
See ya.
Mrs. Ryan, I love you so very much. Steph
you
Curtis,
too.
we love you so very much.
love you.
So
guys
good to
too.
see you.
We love everybody at home. Please love one another, and we will see you out there this weekend.
I'm gonna think of this forever as
so
the.
funny.